So I learned when I was in graduate school the second time that it's okay to show your influences, to let them show in your work. But people haven't seemed to notice my influences that much, so I thought, this time I'm going to make damn sure they see it. So this is inspired by Brancusi's Gold Bird. So I knew I wanted to glaze it with the gold luster, but first, before the luster, you have to apply a regular glaze. So I applied the regular glaze, and it pinholed, which is a glaze flaw. Sometimes I'm okay with the pinholes, but this time I wanted it really pristine. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put another glaze on top of it, and that'll smooth in together, and it'll be really smooth and pristine to receive the gold luster. But to my dismay, I opened the kiln, and the glaze had like jumped off of the piece and surrounded the piece on the kiln floor, all these little glaze drips. I had no shelf on the kiln floor because the piece exactly fit the height of the kiln. And then there's all these drips on it. So I was like, well, hell, I've only been doing this for 50 years. I should know exactly how to control this material. But after I looked at it for a little while, I thought, oh, it's okay. It's gonna look good once I get the gold luster on it. And now I'm really happy with it. Now I love all these surprise drips.
As your dealer, Susan, for sure, the most common question people ask me is, what does she mean by all these eyes? Is it to ward off, is it protector, to ward off the evil eye? Is it God's eye? And then when I tell them what it means to you, people are often very surprised. Can you tell what the eye means to you?
Yes, I love answering this question because I've used the eye in my work for a long time. Initially, it was referencing the all-seeing eye, the eye of God. And then at 43, I found out I was pregnant, and lo and behold, the biological father was not husband material, so I decided I would be raising my infant, my child, by myself. In the middle of my art career, while I'm a full-time professor, I couldn't be any busier, so I had to take my little infant into the studio with me so I could work. So I set him in his little baby holder right next to the window, thinking he'd look out the window. But no, he sat there and he just stared at me the whole time. And I thought, oh my God, this little person is going to be watching me his whole life. I've got to mind my behavior. So I set a good example. And I had some behaviors that needed to be adjusted. So these realistic eyes are William's eye, reminding me to be good, that I'm always being watched and I need to set a good example. A little personal history. My dad was a geologist, so I was born in West Texas, but then we moved to New Mexico when he went into mineral exploration. So we moved to Albuquerque, and at that time my grandparents had a gallery in Santa Fe. So I started learning about modern art in Santa Fe because I had the freedom to run around the plaza while my mom worked with my grandparents at the art gallery. The gallery was right by the plaza, so I could go in and out of galleries, and I saw all kinds of great artwork and got all excited and ran back to my grandfather's gallery. Big Daddy, I saw these giant paintings with flowers, giant flowers and skulls in the sky, and he said, "Oh, you found O'Keeffe." And he knew O'Keeffe because he was the director of the New Mexico Arts Commission, so he was very immersed in the Santa Fe art scene. The Native American aesthetic really infiltrated my creativity, and I work spontaneously in the studio to allow subconscious thoughts to surface. So when I made the original Kachinas, they were made out of clay, and I didn't realize I'd made the Kachinas until after they were finished, and then I recognized them. The Kachinas, the two Kachinas are Koshari and Koyemsi. Koyemsi is the taller of the two. It's the mudhead, and it was the most popular Kachina. And the Kachinas were used to teach the young people about the connection between the spiritual and the natural world. So the originals were made out of clay, and those are now at the Art Museum in Corpus Christi. But I had molds made of them before they went down to that museum because I knew I wanted to I thought I was going to make bronzes out of them. But then I decided to do them out of stainless steel because here we are in Houston, Space City, they needed to be cosmic Kachinas. And also the Kachinas being the connection between the natural and spiritual world. But the Koyemsi is the mudhead, the taller of the two, and Koshari is the one that I'm standing next to now, the shorter of the two. Koshari was used to teach the young people appropriate standards of behavior. And the way that Koshari did that was by being inappropriate. So Koshari is often showed with watermelons to show that he was gluttonous. So he was excessive in all his behaviors. So you'll see in the symbols, there's the watermelon. And then I like to make a nod to the people that I love. So my grandmother gave me this little Cupid pin. So this little Cupid is also down here on the stainless steel sculpture. In the drawings on the other, on Koyemsi, you'll see there's little games like tic-tac-toe and stuff like that, and that's because during ceremonies when there would be a break in the dances, Koyemsi would play games with the children to entertain them during the break.